Meanwhile, Vice President Pence is making news of his own, talking about ISIS and how it's been humbled even after these latest attacks in Syria. Take a look.
We're now actually able to begin to hand off the fight against ISIS in Syria to our coalition partners, and we are bringing our troops home. The caliphate has crumbled, and ISIS has been defeated.
All right, well, you've seen, obviously, some examples of ISIS-related violence, including in Syria and in at least 2 African countries where ISIS splinter groups seem to be alive and well and wreaking havoc. The Hudson Institute senior fellow Rebeccah Heinrichs on all of this. What do you make of it? And are we looking at ISIS either just sort of showing its strength and that it's still relevant, or what?
Well, the vice president's comments have an unfortunate timing because of the 4 deaths, American deaths that we just had in Syria.
And he made those afterwards, which startled me.
He did, and it was just it was very, very bad timing. He is right, though, that we are seeing the defeat. We are defeating the actual physical caliphate. We've defeated 99%, I think, of what they say, of what the territory that ISIS previously held. And that, you know, when it has the caliphate, it's stronger and it's able to carry out more destruction. And that we have defeated. But of course, ISIS is still exists. The ISIS militants still exist. The problem is, you know, in the Middle East, we're never going to get to the point where we actually defeat every single last one of these terrorists who hold this violent militant Islamist ideology. You know,
I thought you phrased that perfectly, that we never will. I mean, the philosophy that lives on, we saw that when, you know, the Taliban, and then we were worried about al-Qaeda, then we were worried about all these other groups, Boko Haram, that morph into new but just as sinister and deadly combinations. Was the problem in just unequivocally saying, all right, ISIS is dead or ISIS has been destroyed, that almost tempts a response?
Perhaps. I think, Neil, though, that the problem is, you know, we're to the point where the country is very weary of fighting long, open-ended wars in the Middle East, where the goal is to take care of this enemy, to destroy this enemy. But I think the problem is the ideology. It's the Islamist ideology. And what we should do is take care of the physical areas that they hold, because that's how they can carry out more effective terrorist attacks. But again, you know, we have to be careful how we talk about this, because we still have to have a plan for defeating the vestiges that still remain even after we get out of Syria. And the administration, to their credit, is trying to set up this Middle East strategic alliance so that we have Arab partners and allies that are going to take care of this Islamist militants that exist long after we're gone. But we do have to be careful about how we talk about this so that we're being accurate and we're managing expectations.
And I do find it tad ironic, not to play politics with this, Rebeccah, the Democrats who have been long opposed to our presence and unending presence in that neck of the woods, says after 17 years leaving now is problematic. So I know what's going on politically here, but I wonder what our roles should be when it comes to being in so many countries with so many Americans vulnerable to this sort of thing. Is the strategy that we hand it off to our friends, hand it off to those in the region? Who?
Well, I think it's a great question, Neil, and it's sort of the million-dollar question of the day. The United States can't forego our leadership mantle. So we still have to have a strong leadership mantle, but that doesn't mean that we can't delegate some of this responsibility to our allies. The French and the British have been helping us in Syria, but the French have to step up more because they have a major Islamist problem coming into their actual borders. And so we can encourage our allies to take more of a stronger role in that regard. But we have to be careful that even as the Americans become weary, that we don't conflate different things that we're doing. What we're doing in Eastern and Central Europe to defend against the threat from Russia, that's a very different thing than what we're doing in Syria and Afghanistan. So my concern is that the American people might be conflating these as they become wary about our presence abroad. And that means it's up to policymakers to make an argument, persuade the American people, because ultimately what we do abroad is up to the American people. They're the sovereign and they're the ones that have to make the decision.
Rebeccah, can you make the argument? Because you were more cogent and clear in these last 3 minutes than I've heard arguments on both sides. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.
What a well-reasoned, just sort of a step back from all of this.